We just got finished watching a very interesting show called Severance. It's an Apple TV show that I was introduced to by another friend, and then I brought it to you and be like, this seems like an interesting thing that we should give a look-see. I believe it came out earlier this year, or was it last year? I'm not sure, but it's it's probably my favorite thing that I've watched all year, actually. I quite enjoyed it, and that's what we're going to be talking about now.
So severance is about a procedure that employees of a company called Lumen go under, where they basically separate their work lives from their personal lives. And it follows a group of 4 in the macro data refinement department at Lumen, the company.
Still don't know what that actually is.
Right. We don't know what they do, and they don't really know what they do.
They pick out
either,
numbers on a
that
screen.
are scary,
That
right?
are
Scary
scary.
numbers. Overall, about the story, I really enjoyed it as well. And I remember the creator's name, Dan Erickson. I don't usually care about anything like that, but I will
Be looking for
commit
him.
his name to memory because I think that this story was so intriguing.
Yes.
And there were a lot of moments that were just shocking and like, why? Or like, what? The question that you keep asking more questions.
Yes.
Actually.
And even though we've reached the end of what I'm assuming is the first season, seeing as the way how the first season ended, there's still so many questions to ask. Even like, what the fuck is macro data refinement? Even though we've seen them doing it, it is like, what?
Yeah.
This show is really interesting in like, it's about the people, but it's also about how work is in general, you know?
I guess so. I guess a government would want a workforce that doesn't dilly-dally or anything like that, and just works. I could see that.
I could see that, yeah.
Don't bring your personal baggage into the office. Just work.
Yeah.
I get that.
And the whole split of the characters wearing the Innie and the outie, and how the Innie have their own culture, and like how they're pretty much being raised in like a cult type of thing.
It is a cult.
It is
Lumen is definitely a cult.
Lumen is a cult, a work cult.
Yeah.
And I guess it's supposed to be like how we have like work culture and how you go to work and there's certain things that you do only at work. I really picked up on it. Do you remember there was a scene where, oh god, we gotta talk about Milchick. Where Milchick is like, but they're going to have a 5-minute dance party. And I laugh because that is something that companies actually do, where they like get a whole bunch of people, a bunch of like employees, like especially in retail, and just like have them like just come to this little seminar thing where you have to go, and then they play like maybe some music or whatever, and you have to be there type of thing. And it's like, yeah, I know that.
I don't really have an issue with the random dance party, to be honest.
I enjoyed how the Innies themselves were like trying to find purpose in this existence where they just literally are there to work.
Yeah. I find it dreadful.
It is dreadful.
Quite frankly.
One of the main characters, her whole thing is that she tried to get out many times,
like
and then eventually she hung herself.
Yeah.
Because her outie told her that you are not a person.
Yeah.
I am a person. You are there to work. And I was like, geez, this is like self-enslavement in a weird... It
kind of is.
It is interesting.
You created another self to enslave them because you didn't want to be mentally like checked in at a certain place. Yeah. So you turn them on when you're there, so you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's
That's pretty
It's messed
fucked.
up.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
It feels. I really like this the way how this is like feels. This is science fictiony, but it isn't like fantastical sci-fi type stuff.
Hmm.
It is very subtle, and it also is trying to tell. It has a point to what it's trying to say, right? How we treat our work selves versus how we treat ourselves on the outside for work and that type of thing. And I liked how, especially with Mark, our main character,
Hmm.
we see how his innie seems to be enjoying his life at first more than how his outie actually him Ash himself on the outside seems to be going through his suffering. And we find out that's because his wife had died, and the reason why he got severance was because he couldn't deal with the loss of her. And Innie Mart seems to be at the beginning seems to be far more like excited, up to beat before everything kind of just like
Do you mean
tumbles down.
what part is in the
I
beginning?
mean, like in the very beginning of the show, it seems like Animar is more happy to be in his job and existing than how versus how Ultimart sees himself on the outside. Because every time we see Mart on the outside, he seems so he's dour, he's sad, he's miserable. There's darkness all the time wherever he is,
Hmm.
and the only times there's ever light is when he needs light to actually do something to illuminate himself, to actually find something or like a room or whatnot. Versus how any Mart is always like illuminated out in the lights. Well, that's more or less because
The
the
workplace
workplace
is
is
like
kind of
that.
a freaking prison
Yeah.
with
You
tons of
realize
lights.
that all the other places within the workspace
Hmm.
are dark.
Yes,
So the wellness is dark. The break room
it's
is
dark.
dark. Perpetuity
It's
is
dark.
dark. It's
It
strange.
is. I think the creators were using light as a way to show
Yeah,
like
definitely.
definitely how things matter to people's like personalities and whatnot.
Oh,
Like
is that what you were gonna
like
say?
and they no and because the work is being created in a sense it's bright, it's open, so it's
Right.
good.
That's what I
It's
was getting.
exactly
The symbolism of
it's
that. They
force
should be glad,
goodness exactly.
to be there. But then whenever there's something else, no, no. The hallway,
Oh
the
god.
twisting and the turning was really
I remember
uncomfortable
when we first started
and
watching it
kind
and I
of
said that it
disorienting.
felt sickening.
It
It
was
felt really
definitely.
sickening watching them walk through the hallways and make turns and just like I felt. And then when we got to the main room, how low the ceiling is, I hate that. I actively hate that because I'm already so tall. But I just hate how it makes you feel just looking in that room
Hmm.
when it's just these four little cubicles with them in the middle of the room, and it's this big wide room and this low ceiling. It's
Another
just
thing was
terrible.
that whenever they would go into the other places that were kind of dark,
Hmm.
where is it? The two places that like they got smaller as they went in were the break room
Yes,
and at the end the testing
the
room.
testing room. Yes.
So those places were where they know that they would go to kind of get punished,
Yeah.
I guess. I guess the testing room we found out later on is kind of like that.
We don't even know what's down
Yeah,
there.
we don't really know, but we know that she's not coming back,
Yeah.
right?
Or maybe,
So
who knows? Jeez.
don't know. But the break room, that did go there to be re-brainwashed somewhat.
Yes.
To pay for whatever mistakes that they did. And it gets smaller. The tunnel,
Yeah, it's just so
you know,
claustrophobic.
yeah. That
Choking.
mentally already is supposed to make you feel, or should I say psychologically, it's supposed to make you feel like you can't escape.
Hmm.
It's
It's supposed to smother
sad.
you.
It's
Yeah.
scary.
I I really like how they use space a lot in this show,
Hmm.
especially with the like you talking about how the small spaces, then the wide spaces
Yeah.
that make you feel. It's just and then a lot of times with the darkness, there's like a scene where I believe Mark and Helly they're like walking around. I think he was like chasing after her. It was after her attempt at suicide,
Hmm.
and when they're walking down the hallway, it is dark, but the light just keeps coming on every step that they take.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why design it like that? Why is this just with
I
this
think those
one
are
passage?
sensor lights,
Yeah,
though,
they're sensor
Chris.
lights, but it just felt like it's such a weird thing to do. Like we even get into part about the goats yet, and I don't still
That
understand
was
that.
odd, and I don't understand. The guy is like, they're not ready yet.
Already.
But here's what: whenever there are goats involved with cult things, we always know that they're going to be used as like a sacrifice. You know, their blood for something. Maybe the people of the cult Lumen drink the
The
goat
goat
blood.
blood.
You
We
know?
don't ever see that, but we do see a lot of passages. It's like they have their own Bible and whatnot. The
Yeah,
handbook for
yeah,
work is pretty much the Bible
yeah,
for the entire thing, and it's just it. The show is about the cult of working
yeah.
and how we
Basically,
behave and the things that we do while we are at work. It's strange that this came out at this time with the whole like
the big
mass
resign. Yeah,
resigning and
yeah.
quitting and like people trying to work away from work and working at home and stuff. And the show came out at the right time. I think that's
I
why
think so too.
it connected so well with me too. So I just this is I really enjoyed. I can't keep saying that. This was good.
I agree. I'm just gonna jump straight to my score now that we're talking about enjoying. I would really give this a 9 and definitely tell people to watch it.
Yeah, I am looking forward to watching season 2.
Same, same.
That goddamn cliffhanger
I
at the
was
end.
it's so unfortunate that Mark couldn't say,
Who? But he
yeah,
did
yeah.
say what was going down.
But you can't really get it from that, can you?
The funny thing about this show, right, is that there's so many mysteries in it. Right? We still don't know what really macro data really means. We still don't know what Lumen is doing inside the.
The train wants to say things, but we're just gonna keep
We're
talking
just gonna
over the
keep talking
train.
over the train. Um.
The part where Helly's dad talked to her in the back room
Ah.
and then says that everyone in the world will soon, so
Beasts.
that just yeah,
They're
that
planning
lets
to
us know
go.
that they're gonna expand out of, you know, not just like the workplace or the rich people.
Mm-hmm. We ever talked about that? We realized that lady who was severed, that was pregnant.
Yeah, so she's the senator's wife.
Yes,
She got severed
for pregnancy.
for pregnancy or for whenever she gives birth or
Yeah,
goes into labor. Maybe it's like you said, specifically for that. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can turn on the person and turn
because
them off.
but you see, severance work is like they say, severance is spatial or certain areas. So it's set up so that in certain areas, when you go to certain areas, you would flip back and forth. That's how it works.
Mm.
I still don't know. I don't believe that the whole thing about you know that thing that they told them that when you go into the severed space that it removes the data and all sorts of stuff like that from anywhere. It
Hmm.
seems I feel that that's lies and bullshit.
I
Because
mean,
I'm pretty
that's
sure the
what
book
Helly
proved it.
thought
The
too,
book kind
but
of
who
proved it. The
knows?
book that Helen that Rickon gave to Mark proved it that stuff can get down there. So
Ah, you're right.
the book that ended up helping the Innies in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
This show is great. I
I
don't really
agree.
want to say anything else super like spoilery about it, even though it's already spoiled anything. But what was Mr. Selvig's deal?
What do you mean what her deal was?
She
Oh,
was,
she is a hardcore cult follower,
she
I think.
is, but why was she like? She lived next door to Mark,
Mm-hmm.
and she was trying to get close to his sister.
Mm-hmm. Well,
She's
she's
trying to
only doing
find
that
out.
because of him.
Right, but I know she's doing it because they're doing a test because I called it. It was like they're doing something with Mrs. Casey. And then I figured out is Miss Casey Mark's wife that he taught.
I'm the one who figured that
I
out.
figured it out as well. And
Okay,
then we
sure.
saw that when he was the paper and he put together the picture that it was her, that it was his wife, that Miss Casey is his wife. And she's like testing to see if his memories are popping up. That's why she's the wellness person or the psychologist for them or whatnot. It is the show is strange. And Mr. Milchick is I remember the moment the first time we saw him, he was like, I don't like this guy.
He is so creepy. Oh my goodness. You could have nightmares about his smile.
He's smiling all the time and just being like, okay, this is time for the 5 minute dance party. And here is the pre-egg waffle party
Bar.
bar part. I was
Yes.
just like, what the hell? I was like, yeah, work places do give you little tiny incentives to make you like work better.
Not like
Not like that,
those.
but
I
it's
mean,
it's
if
pretty
you
much a
want to
take on
give
it.
people incentives, honestly, I think a raise would be better.
Just be like, here's some tickets for Mark
A
got yeah,
concert
he
would be
got
nice.
when he hit his head. We just said that he hit his head, but he didn't
Yeah, he
actually hit his
got
head.
a
That was when Helly hit him with
a
the thing in the room the first.
gift
He got a
card.
gift card. That's pretty much work.
No, but he got a gift card to like a diner.
Yeah.
How is that?
It's pretty much, oh, you got in trouble or whatever. Here's this little gift card type thing, blah blah,
Uh,
just to keep your mouth shut. Oh, they care about me type of thing, you know. Work places do that all the time.
sure.
This show. I'm really looking forward to season 2. Seeing as how a lot of stuff happened towards the end, and we don't know what has going to happen to our heroes, I guess, our characters, because eventually our Innies decide that fuck Lumen, fuck this. We need to get people to know that we don't like this, and Innies are suffering.
Hmm.
And they eventually figure out how to that you can be flipped off anywhere. The company can flip you on and off, back and forth. It doesn't matter. You don't have to just be at work.
Right.
And I feel like that is the most dangerous aspect that we discovered in the show. This is controllable.
Yeah.
So, and I was, remember me and you were talking about how many times can you split a person? Is it just twice? Could they like split a person 3 times? Could they split somebody super in charge of like something and then they don't know that they're actually like a spy or whatever?
I
It
have another question now that
yeah.
you say this.
Well,
Because what if it's the black goo?
we discovered that Irvin is a painter, and I think that the black goo where that he is seeing, well, he is his Innie is seeing is what his outie is painting. He painting
No,
because
no, 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 no,
what
no, no. In the opening,
the
even.
goo is everywhere. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. The only person that we see
That
anything like that is
is
Irvin
related to what you said about how many times can they split themselves, I feel.
because he keeps seeing all the many little copies in the black
Yeah.
goo. Hmm. How many times can a person be actually severed?
Yeah.
Probably might be more than one because. But still, the one thing that I have is also concerning Irving is that his OT is painting the testing room.
Yeah.
How? And his OT has a whole bunch of
This
information
is what I
about people
think.
and things, and at the end, the actual
Actually, I don't
So
know.
how does he know?
I feel like maybe because okay. Remember how I said in the beginning that maybe the goo for Irving was
His
his
psyche.
split like maybe falling over or
Ah,
collapsing in itself. So maybe something is wrong with his chip actually.
he's already like he's
Kind of going
slowly
halfy.
reintegrating on both
Somewhat,
sides.
somewhat. That's what I thought.
Hmm,
And so I think that I'm not sure about, maybe he does have a somewhat an awareness
seems
or
so. He's
he
waking up and like doing stuff and then going back to sleep.
I don't know. I think that the testing room, the reason why he draws it is because he sees it like a nightmare or a
Mm.
dream or something.
It's a reoccurring place for
Something
him.
like that. Maybe the amount of times that he's painted it is the amount of times he dreamt it, kind of thing. So he just does that. But the all of the information that he had there,
Yeah,
it feels like
he
he's like some
knows.
kind of
He's. I
investigator,
feel like he
because
probably was like somebody
right,
investigating it,
like if he went undercover or
and then he
something,
got like caught, and then they were forced to like make him sever or something. It
or
feels like he split too.
or I don't know. There was a photo that said dad in the navy clothing
Yes,
in the
it did.
box, right? Maybe it's either his dad, but I feel like maybe not, but maybe I'm looking too much into it.
Hmm.
Suppose he had a kid and they went to Lumen and they like died or disappeared or something, and he didn't want them to undergo the procedure or something like that. Maybe he lost someone to Lumen and the severance procedure, and that's the reason why he went and did it, because he found it suspicious.
I see.
You know, I don't know.
I don't know either. But his stuff really that was a really interesting thing to just drop towards the end of the
Yeah,
show, because they were all like, we're going to go and figure this out. But when he goes, he just starts searching his home,
right.
like if something triggered inside of him as well,
No, no. He searched in his home
just to like
because
find
to
stuff.
look around. I would
But
also look
I
around my
know, but
place.
still, the fact that he found that he was already painting the testing room, his ulti, and the fact that he found other things, maybe his ulti, like you said, he's just bleeding over information, and he's like
Right,
trying
there's
to.
that, and then there's the if he knew that Lumen was suspicious before and went undercover on his own to like
Exactly.
expose them or something.
And then we have Helly R, who turns out to be an Egan, the
Yeah,
people who run Lumen and
yeah.
pretty much this whole
The
work
cult
cult.
creators.
And she's literally probably like the heir or the daughter to the main dude
Yeah.
that we first time meet like in the last episode. And I this show's good. I I really need to know when season 2 coming out, because I really really want to watch it,
Same.
because I wasn't expecting the cliffhanger. I thought the show had more to go, and then when it ended, I was like, oh shit, damn. I really don't have anything else to say about the show. People need to watch this. Severance is the best show of the year.
I mean, I feel like this is a good direction for
Hmm.
television shows. I feel like there's a lot of like creativity there in by the creator.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I just I am wowed. I am amazed. Something that I didn't feel was all predictable or uninteresting or like it slowly got worse or
No,
there were parts that I didn't like. I
I
enjoyed every
just,
single part of Severance.
yeah, it for me
It
too.
got more and more interesting. I have more and more questions.
I care a lot about the characters. I like the characters,
Yeah,
even the strange ones and the weird ones or whatever. It was just like it was on point the
yeah.
entire way
It
throughout.
deserves some, I don't know, awards or something.
It has won the Rambling Tea Time Award for greatness.
It has.
uh,
Honestly, it may be in its category the best that we've seen.
no, yeah, I'll give it a 10. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You know,
I'm doing
I
that.
don't do
I
tens.
know you don't do tens. I'll give.
Tens are perfection and nothing is perfect.
Nothing is perfect, but this is very close.
Well,
I
I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
But yes, it's perfect.
it's
It's good.
okay.
It's great.
There,
It's
oh, we didn't even talk about that part with PT.
PT who set Smart outie on pretty much the quest to figure out what was going on and everything.
Yeah, I thought the lady who did she's the one she said that inserted all the chips. I thought she would appear again. She's
Probably saving
actually
it for,
anti-severance,
yeah.
which
People
is
are
interesting.
anti-severance.
I mean, she performed the procedure, but she's actually anti-severance. So I'd like to know more
More
about
about
her
her.
efforts in this,
They probably cut it
revolution or
because
whatever.
it had probably been gotten a little too. I think they're probably best to save that for season 2. That
I
whole,
guess so.
we did get okay. Let's talk about the just like I like how the shots of like the buildings, especially whenever they go to Lumen or the
Oh,
outside.
right, the symmetrical nature.
Yes, I like how the world feels quiet. You know what I mean?
I think that's just the location.
It probably is just the location, but every time we see like an outside place or we're out and about,
Hmm.
it feels very quiet. It feels like the Severance itself has kind of like muted the world.
Not
I
really.
know,
You
but the
forget the part where Mark and what's her name?
what?
His date go out.
I mean, yeah, that part, and they're like in punk and they're like singing music, but still,
Not then, even just the time before that when they were
where what?
drinking.
Yes, that's not what I mean. I'm talking just like more like the outside and just what we see of the world. It is still quiet.
I
it is.
have to disagree.
I know
It's just the
it's
location.
just the location, but for me, I feel that's this
And there
kind of
were other
symbolic
places
as
where
well.
everything wasn't super quiet, but
Exactly, but most of the time, whenever we out in the main world, it is often very quiet, like almost
can
silenced.
you give examples?
Like I guess when we saw Irvin out and about, the few times we've
He
seen
was
Mark out and
driving.
about, not that time he was driving, when we saw Outie Irvin when he was just outside by himself
You mean
with his
outside
dog.
of his home?
Yes.
Oh, that
The
time.
few times we've
Again, I think
seen
that's
like
just
Mark
location.
moving about in the place, it's still, I just mean just like the shots and how we see in the entire world is like, but that's what's presented to us of the outside world. It's just very quiet. That's all I have to say. It feels like it's important to the entire vibe of the show, just to
Mm.
showcase that Severance kind of like has muted in a weird way the world. I'm probably reaching far too into it right now, but it feels like it's kind of like important to the entire vibe of the show, just the quietness of the outside.
Okay.
Strange, but yeah. But yeah, everyone, go watch Severance. It's a great show.
Yeah, we definitely highly recommend watching Severance. Um, if you're a person like we are anyway, you will probably enjoy it immensely like
Mm-hmm.
we have. And that's about all we have to say.
Yeah,
Watch it. Tell us what you think. Tell the creator that you love him or her, whatever.
show's just fantastic. A fun, good. How many episodes was it? 9
Eight.
episodes? 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Good, perfect
Wait,
number.
was it eight?
I think it was 9.
No, I'm
It's
confused.
9 episodes.
Was it?
Yes.
Hmm.
Go and give Severance a watch, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Good night, everyone.